Hello and welcome back to Marketing Automation Implementation course. This is part 4 of our course and it's about implementation docs. In this part of the tutorial, we're going to walk through a template of the documentation of your implementation. The idea is that we want to have every information about our implementation in one place, well structured so that we don't lose anything and that everything is in order. Let's see where we've landed on the implementation timeline. We're after the first meeting, so we're in the phase of basic preparations. At this stage, we need to get the proof of legal compliance, implement the tool, learn how the platform works, onboard the team, train the team, and internally within different teams discuss standards of how we can run the system. However, we've already learned how the platform works, so this position is out. Now we can focus on the remaining tasks. In this tutorial, we're going to create a documentation of our implementation. Why is that? Because when implementing marketing automation in a large business, the whole process might get really complicated. You got so many automations and all different custom user attributes and tags and lists and all of that. You don't want to lose track of all of that. This is why we want to create one center place where you will store all the information about what's happening in the system, why it's happening, and who's responsible for that. The other thing that the documentation will help us achieve is to go step by step without forgetting to do any crucial task before moving on. So let's start with the first element of the documentation. Initial checklist. Now we're in the implementation manager's checklist. This is a list of things that you have to do before we can move forward. The first thing is getting legal guidelines and proof of compliance. As I said before, in most cases you will not need a professional lawyer to provide that. If you're not in a sector such as finances or healthcare, which are heavily regulated, you'll be able to prepare such guidelines yourself by just reading a little bit online. Then the next thing is app tutorials are finished, app has been created, basic user engage or other marketing automation system for that matter. Implementation is ready. Other managers have been invited with appropriate permissions. Appropriate permissions meaning that they're able to access all the advanced settings and all the sections of the app. And all the managers went through the appropriate course. As I often say, this might seem like too much work, watching all of those tutorials, everyone is busy and stuff, but as I said, this will save you hours down the road. This is the place for you to paste your legal compliance guidelines. So for example, you should create a guideline for each situation that might occur in your application. So for example, when someone registers for a newsletter, you should have a guideline regarding the type of consent they should give, the content of the checkbox that should be there, a link to privacy policy, and so on. The same applies, for example, when someone registers on your app or becomes your customer in an e-commerce.